And here is the Writer's Almanac for Tuesday, April the 21st, 2020. The birthday of novelist Charlotte Brontë, born in Thornton, England in 1816. A friend at the time described her as a tiny, delicate, serious little lady with fair, straight hair and steady eyes. She was the daughter of an Anglican priest. She grew up in a little village on the moors of West Yorkshire. Mother died when she was young. Father sent her and three of her sisters off to a boarding school which was run by cruel people. The girls were fed burnt porridge, bathed in freezing water. The teachers were harsh. They physically punished them. In fact, two of the Brontë sisters died there at the school, so the father brought Charlotte and her sister Emily back home, where in between their studies, the Brontë girls were free to do whatever they liked. They could roam the moors and read books, and they started to write books. Charlotte found work as a teacher, didn't like teaching, and she wondered if she might be able to make a living with her writing. And so she took her portable wooden writing desk out to a stone on the banks of a stream, and she sat there and she wrote. And 1 year later, she finished her second novel called Jane Eyre, which was published under the name Currer Bell, and which was a huge sensation. It's the birthday of the naturalist John Muir, born Dunbar, Scotland, 1838, moved to this country. He was working at a carriage part shop in Indianapolis when he almost lost one of his eyes, and the thought that he might never be able to see a flower again affected him so deeply he quit the job, and he set out to walk across the country, living as close to nature as possible. Walked for 1,000 miles from Indianapolis to the Gulf of Mexico, sailed to Cuba, to Panama, finally arrived in California, which he loved, especially the Sierra Mountains, and spent much of his time hiking, camping there. It was John Muir who was largely responsible for the creation of Yosemite National Park in 1890, and 2 years later he helped found the Sierra Club. Here's a poem by Billy Collins, Walking My 75-Year-Old Dog. She's painfully slow, so I often have to stop and wait while she sniffs some roadside weeds as if she were reading the biography of a famous dog. And she's not a pretty sight anymore, dragging one of her hind legs, her coat too matted to brush or comb, and a snout white as a marshmallow. We usually walk down a disused road that runs along the edge of a lake whose surface trembles in a high wind and is slow to ice over as the months grow cold. We don't walk very far before she sits down on her worn haunches and looks up at me with her rheumy eyes. Then it's time to carry her back to the car. Just thinking about the honesty in her eyes, I realize I should tell you she's not really 75, she's 14. I guess I was trying to appeal to your sense of the bizarre, the curiosities of the sideshow. I mean, who really cares about another person's dog? Everything else I've said is true, except the part about her being 14. I mean, she's old, but not that old. And it's not nice to divulge the true age of a lady. A poem by Billy Collins, Walking My 75-Year-Old Dog, from his collection Whale Day and Other Poems, to be published by Random House in September, used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.